Hey guys, it's Friday and we have a guest!
Yes, we do.
So excited.
Hooray! #1 fan.
So go ahead and ask about unless you want to give that in the podcast itself.
No, it's fine. Most people will watch the video anyway.
That's true, so go ahead.
Any specific way you want to cut. You don't care.
Whatever's, I'm leaving everything in your hands. You're the professional.
So that actually has both of them. The guillotine and then the V cut.
The V cut.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with the V. That one's going to do.
Slick.
Give you some lips.
Hook me up.
A little crooked.
You never forget your first, right?
Never forget your first.
Doesn't come with this.
If you need an ashtray.
Get to go through like the few videos I watched trying to prepare for this. Toasting the end
Oh yeah.
and everything.
I'm going to show you it all.
Okay.
Well, I thought he said he studied the last videos.
No, I
He
looked up.
studied actual
I looked up some
professionals.
cigar videos.
Oh,
Actual
okay.
professionals
Trying to,
doing it.
because, I mean, you were probably there. I had to call him when I was in that place trying to get a cigar. Cause
Yeah, she was listening to that
like,
conversation.
Yeah, I listened to it.
I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Alright, a little backstory for the video is our friend from work, he listens to the podcast, we asked him to be on this episode, so here he is, and you want to tell the story of your first cigar lounge experience? Not lounge, just cigar shop.
My first cigar shop experience was at Loon Lake in the Dells, trying to get cigars for this podcast, and I was in way over my head. I walked in there, and man, I was like trying to pick out shoes or something very specific for my wife that they make 50 million of. And then I was even saying like, well, I'll just go whatever catches my eye. And then I walk into the room and like everything catches your eye because it's got shiny foil all over all of them. And
They're all so different.
Yeah, they're all the variants of them all and everything. Then I had to call you to coach me through it. And then I basically just went with these because I was always a fan of the Gurkha warriors. And I have a kukri knife that was made in Nepal that's very handmade because it's crooked from the bottom to the tip, but that's what makes it special.
Well, based on, I haven't smoked a Gurkha before, but I always hear good things about them, so I think you picked out a good brand. Especially their 125th anniversary, right?
Yep.
I just want to say that it was so funny because when we called Ken and like he answered, he was like, "Hello," you're like, "Ken, I'm so overwhelmed. I'm standing in this humidor. Please help me." And I was like, "Who is it?" He said, "Jeremiah. He's in the humidor trying to pick the cigar." I'm like, poor guy. And then I heard you say they're just like all over the walls and they're on the table. You're like, how do you know what to pick?
I know, well, you know, you expect some kind of description, or I would expect some kind of description, but it's almost like you don't belong in there unless you know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And he, of course, tried to sell me on the Loon Lake ones. Like, the ones right inside the door are the most popular. I was like, I don't know, anything that says, like, buy 3, get the 4th free just doesn't scream, like, great to me, but Kensei's had some of theirs, and they're all right.
Their house brand is actually good. I was telling you that they've been out of stock for them ever since the coronavirus. And they just got them in stock not too long ago. Because every time I went there the last, like 3 weeks, or within the last 3 weeks, they didn't have them. So they must have finally got them in stock. They're good for a house blend, cheap cigar.
Yeah, something for when you just want a cigar.
Want a cigar and don't want to savor every last bit of it.
Which I'm thinking about doing now and trying to like cut back on the cigarettes more. Maybe still like smoke at work to
You didn't start that yet, right?
You
chill
said not
myself
to.
out.
You said just start the video. So
Yeah.
you want to.
Yeah, we'll look at these lit once we start the video. probably a good time.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna say this is probably a good hour cigar.
Here I am talking big about how I'm gonna
Remind
hold you
me.
accountable and remind you for time your cigar, and I'm the one that remembers.
Maybe it does that and says it can't record. It's Friday, so you know what that means. Friday nights in the cigar lounge. But tonight is a very special night because we actually have our very first guest, Jeremiah.
Hello.
He's our coworker from work and a big supporter of the show, and we decided to invite him on the show. So, tonight's episode, we are going to be talking about tattoos and relationships. But like always, before we start, Ken, do you want to share what cigar you're smoking tonight?
Tonight, me and Jeremiah both are actually smoking the 125th anniversary Gurkha. He actually got it for us from the cigar shop, local cigar shop. And then we're both drinking the PBR whiskey and Coke Energy. So we'll get these lit and let you know how they taste.
And this is my first cigar ever.
First cigar ever, but he's a big cigarette smoker, so.
Yeah, I've been smoking Camel cigarettes since 1998, so
So he'll be okay.
brand loyalty. I don't think it will overwhelm me.
Alright, when I light a cigar first, I toast it. And yeah.
For our podcast listeners, since you can't see it, you're showing him how to light his cigar.
Yeah, because I have no clue what I'm doing. If you watch the YouTube video, you'll hear the story of my first time trying to buy a cigar.
I'm gonna say I might go out a few times.
So do you want to
They just
start
filled it?
with tattoos or relationships?
You set me up for here.
It's gonna be a big flame since I just spilled it.
Which one? You want to start with?
Can you blow smoke rings? I'm a little
No.
distracted right
I
now.
know,
I
I see that.
If you want just a regular lighter or something, I also have the whiskey barrel. That's a punch. You punch, you thought you were
It
just
does
pushed it in.
a circle or whatever.
Yeah. Got a lot of limits.
I should be getting a match for this, like the guy in that video that I watched. He was had so much swag, with that cigarette.
I mean, we could start with a little background on
Let's get a background on Jeremiah.
Jeremiah, like what you do other than
What do you
working
do in
with
life?
us, like your
What's your
photographs
purpose
on
on this
Instagram. No, that's not what I mean.
Well, let's see. Born in Texas, moved back and forth a lot in my middle school years between here and Wisconsin. Was bounced around with my mom, my childhood with poor relationship decisions, we'll call it. And finally settled in Wisconsin in, I think it was 95. And I've been in Wisconsin since. Let's see, we'll get into the relationship part later and everything, because that's part of the episode, but hobby photographer. Been
On
slacking
that
a
note,
lot.
not to cut you off, but we also wanted to bring him in too to promote his Instagram and stuff. So if you want to tell them what your pages are.
Well, my YouTube is not active at all. I don't think I've posted a video on there in 5 years, but that's Wisco Life on YouTube. I started with big grandiose ideas of documenting all my camping trips and when I'm out hiking in the woods and stuff like that. And it just never came to fruition. I end up finding an excuse or just don't have time. I hate doing post-processing for my pictures, and that's partly why my Instagram is pretty inactive too, but that's at Jeremiah_Shipley, SHIPLEY. Couldn't get Wisco Life, somebody took that already, but if you search Wisco Life, my account should come up within the top 4 on there. Just do a lot of landscape, macro photography. Love taking pictures. I still take tons of pictures. I just absolutely dread spending any significant amount of time in front of the computer editing and everything, because no way can get the perfect shot right every time, as much as people might say otherwise. But yeah, that's pretty much all I do. Otherwise, I'm a big outdoors freak. I try and do hiking stuff whenever I can. I'm gonna go camping here in a few weeks with the wife at Governor Dodge.
Do you get off work?
What's that?
So if I get off work?
Yeah,
No.
I think that will happen.
It's never not happened, right?
But yeah, I guess that's about really all I'm up to. And like I said, my Instagram, I just haven't really had the, I don't know, I lost a chunk of motivation or something. I've just been in this slump ever since last winter, and like I wasn't going out and just never really recovered from it. But been trying. I've had a few people on my Instagram hit me up in private messages like, I miss your photos, I hope you're okay and everything, and that was really endearing to me, somebody, just some stranger that I had some kind of impact on them enough that they'd reach out to me. Yep, that's all I've really
And since
been
you
up to.
haven't been on our current events or anything, just would you want to give us your quick input on the whole pandemic thing?
Whoa, that'd be a whole nother podcast.
Give us a couple minute spiel.
Masks don't mitigate anything, especially cloth masks. I just read a article from the American Association of Physicians and Surgeons or something, I think it was. Can't remember the link for the life of me, but they did a whole bunch of studies with all the different mask types and everything, and it showed that like the N95 actually helps a little bit, but they still had done tests with people, having them all put masks on and cough on a petri dish that were known infected with the coronavirus, and every petri dish had coronavirus on it. There's just a lot of bad science being propagated by the media and different partisan politic narratives.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's a whole.
They made it all about politics now. It's not anything.
It's the fact that you can use so many different things for a mask tells you that it's not about your safety, it's about compliance.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I agree. As long as your face is covered, they don't care
Yeah.
what it is, if it will actually protect you from it or not. All right, just wanted your opinion on that. Like you said, we'll go into more detail
that's
on
a
another
whole nother
podcast.
show, man.
All right, so we should probably get into the actual podcast.
Well, I was just saying, do you want to do
We'll start with tattoos because that
Okay.
could lead into
lead into
relationships. And
Okay.
It's such a satisfying sound. Maybe it's a man thing or something.
You like the top?
Like,
It's not satisfying to
maybe it's just like a nerd thing or something.
So let's
You're just not
start.
nerdy enough to enjoy it.
Let's start off with how many tattoos each of us have, because I only have one. And I guarantee Ken only has one.
Well, that you know of.
You only have one.
I have one.
And you have.
I have 3. I have one on my right leg that nobody's ever seen around here. Because I don't wear shorts. I'm
Right.
not a shorts guy. But I'll show you guys that one. That's supposed to be a gargoyle, okay? Looks more like some kind of
Demonic.
demon or something to me.
Something
But-
straight from hell.
Yeah. So Yeah. So, because of my God-fearing nature, I've been planning to get like a cover-up or something done on it, but never gets around to it. Otherwise, I love them. I was always a big fan of like the Yakuza bosses walking around with their suits on and behind closed doors they're fully covered and everything.
Yeah. Is there a little backstory on that gargoyle, or?
That was my first tattoo. I was, I think, 19, and a friend of mine that was just trying to start out getting into doing tattoos was all like, hey, I'll give you this free tattoo if you let me practice on you. And admittedly, we were both tripping on acid at the time, so it seemed like a cool idea. And everything went well other than him taking absolutely forever. I swear it probably would have taken a normal shop 45 minutes to bang it out, and this thing took at least 5 hours. It got to the point where when he was wiping it with the alcohol or whatever they wipe it with, oh, it burned so bad. I got to the point where the burning from the wiping hurt more than any of the tattoo. And he said that really the only thing that happened the whole time was the ink turned blue instead of black. But because that was my biggest worry, was I have somebody that's tripping on acid tattooing my body. This could turn out very bad. But I was
so
conscious.
some of your young mistakes in life.
Yeah,
Young
hindsight's
adults.
always 20/20. And then let's see, I have Mandarin Chinese on both my arms, and my left arm is perseverance, strength. Oh my goodness. No, I can't remember.
Been so-
Perseverance, strength. I'm so embarrassed that it's about my child and I can't remember. The last one's Rooster.
Rooster? You say rooster?
Yeah.
My wife is gonna slap me when I can't remember that. And this one was for my youngest son Abraham, and oh wait, I remember now. It was Carl, strength, perseverance, and rooster, because it reminded me this one is Abraham, peace, love, and pig, and it was just their names. Then a couple things their names are related to, and then the year, the Chinese zodiac year that they were born.
Nice. Nice. Better than some people that get it tattooed on them, and it's just like a saying in Chinese or Mandarin.
Yeah, like they're not even really sure what it
That
actually
is
says.
true,
Like I
yeah.
Googled all the images and everything myself, so I figured out exactly what I was putting on there.
Yeah.
And I swear that's the guy that poked me in the arm at the hospital yesterday. Is he a nurse?
Not that I know of. He is.
Just
He
looked
is.
like the same guy. I digress. But I thought it was a lot less tacky than just getting my kids' names on my body.
Yeah. Yeah, like some people do. They just like get like footprints and like the names and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, not like my wife has tattoos about the boys, but she's got pretty stuff with like their name and birth date and then like
Right.
flowers or something, not just somebody's name.
Oh.
Yeah.
You don't want your
The white-
wife's name on your chest?
No, she actually did give me permission to, because I've wanted to for a while, just as I guess I've been wanting another tattoo. So she gave me permission to get something with her name. So I'll be looking at that. I'd like to get a back piece done, but yeah, it's a lot of money for a tattoo,
Yes, it is.
and I'm a very frugal person, I guess you could say. Cheap, whatever. You don't save money blowing it on silly things, but
Nope.
I might get something small and just like get it worked on from time to time, because it would be a back piece, so it's not like everybody would see it every day or anything.
Yeah.
And I think Ken's told me a little bit about your tattoo at work.
I did tell you
Once, I
about
think.
it.
Has it something to do with supernatural?
Yep, it's right here for the camera. I don't think anyone's looked at the camera. Maybe you have, but
Yeah.
we'll get pictures of our tattoos when we post them onto Instagram. So I got the supernatural tattoo. It's the pentagram, basically. Everyone mistakes it for signs of the devil and all that crap, but it's actually it's supposed to keep the evil outside of your body, and it protects you from being possessed, and just keeps the evil out, basically. And I got this one too because it also, me and my mom used to watch Supernatural when I was younger, when it first came on TV when I was in high school. I think I was actually in grade school when I was in 6th or 7th grade. And then my mom's still alive, nothing like that happened, but it just reminds me of a time when I was younger, and those moments you don't have so much nowadays. So it was just one of those things that reminded me of not a better time, but a different time. Just a memory, basically, yeah. So that's why I got that one, because it was something special, and it's not just because of the TV show, but it also, like I said, helps protect you from evil and a memory. On to the next.
What did I got mine like 2 years ago?
Was it that long ago already?
Yeah, I think I remember
It
when,
might
because
have
you got
been.
it since you've worked at work.
Yeah. So it might have been, or maybe it was last year.
Got it done in Madison.
I got it done.
You went in for a consultation, and she's like, okay, you ready?
Yeah. I was actually looking at my first tattoo being 2 turtles on my back, a bigger one and then a smaller one. And I have a little pin from my great grandma. She used to collect pins, and when she died, my grandma gave us all different ones, and I got a turtle. So I wanted to get a big one, a little one with the colors on the back, as the colors on the turtle with her name and stuff. But
So it's not just because you were so hardcore about work that you got it really
No.
tattooed.
no, so.
No, it had nothing to do
And
with
then
that.
I was looking at another one, which is the one I got, which is the one on my wrist that is a semicolon. And I did the watercolors in the back of green and blue. And for anybody who doesn't know, a semicolon in somebody going through depression, it means that no matter what, you choose not to give up and your story goes on. So I fought with depression for a long time and also did a podcast about it. But I have learned to fight my depression and move on from that. And anytime I get down and have those bad days, I can look down at my wrist, and it's almost a daily reminder that I choose to have my story go on no matter how hard it gets.
Now, what was it that writers put semicolons when they're not finished with
When
the
they're not,
sentence?
yeah.
And a period when it ends.
Yeah, they put a period when the story ends, but when they're not finished with the story and the story's gonna go on, they put the semicolon, so. And a lot of people give them when they do have somebody that went through depression and died, because they get it as a memory, saying like, even though you have died, I will keep your story going on, and they get it as a tattoo of that reminder.
Yeah.
I didn't mean for it
That's
to
a
be.
sweet sentiment.
I didn't mean for it to be so big. I meant for it to be little, like the one Rebecca has on her wrist that's like super tiny, but then it just ended up.
So what happened? Well,
That was
it just
that was
ended up.
it just was that you were supposed to go for a consultation, and
Yeah.
it just turned
Yeah,
into
it
you
just
getting the
ended up-
tattoo.
Because I told her what I wanted, and then she drew it out, and she's like, do you want anything else? And there was like an image on Pinterest that I had of like the watercolor in the back, and I was like, oh, I'd like that. And she's like, what 2 colors do you want? And I told her, and that's how I got it. Because like, to me, when I get a tattoo, like any tattoo I get, I want it to have like a meaning behind it for me.
Oh, yeah.
That's why with the turtles on my back would probably be my next one, because like to me, like my grandma's the big turtle, I'm the big small turtle, and like with her initials and like the day she was year she was born and the year she died, or maybe like the dates, like her birthday and then when she died would be like on the turtle shell, so it's like a memory for me when I see it in the mirror, something like my great grandma's always with me, because she was the only great grandma I ever had, and I had no grandpas because all of them died.
Well, you had grandpa.
Well, I did.
I know what you mean.
Like, I had one grandpa growing up that was, like, around until I was, like,
See
a
how that
teenager.
transitioned great into relationships?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm saying he was there, and he died when I was a teenager, but on my mom's side, all my grandpas died. So, like, as a great-grandparent, I didn't have any on my dad's side, but on my mom's side, I had her. And she was, like, the best great-grandma in the world. And when she died, it was very tough. So that's why if I got my next tattoo, that's what it would be. So when I looked in the mirror, it would like immediately.
Do you guys have plans for a future tattoo? Well, you already said
Yeah, that would
next
probably be
tattoo,
mine.
so that implies that you are.
Mine actually, I have a lot of ideas, but I have to make, it has to be like she said, one that has meaning. It's like, I always had the idea of getting the Argonauts tattoos from Lord of the Rings. I don't know if you know what that is.
Nope.
Have you seen Lord of the Rings?
I've
Long
seen
time ago.
the live action movie and I
The
remember
first
watching
Fellowship of the Ring, when they're on the river and they're going through those big statues with their arms outstretched. Yeah, I'll show you a picture.
not fresh enough in the memory.
That's what you want us to tattoo.
I wanted it on my back, or on my shoulder, but then I don't know, it was like one of those things that didn't have too much meaning, so I'm like, I can look into covering up my whole back with something that has no meaning. So that one's kind of scrapped, but I have if people are familiar with the Green Lantern comic book, was very much into comic books. I still kind of am. I haven't bought one in a long time, but I have, a couple hundred.
Do they still like currently make comic books, like new comic books?
They just like rebooted the whole DC and Marvel
I
comics.
can't
so
imagine
they're
how
all
much a
new.
comic book costs now. They're like $1.25.
$4.50, almost $5 a comic book for 20 pages of colored pictures. Not even 20 pages sometimes. But Green Lantern, there's all different lantern corps in the Green Lantern comic, and the Blue Lantern symbol and everything, it stands for hope, and that was one that I've always wanted since I saw it the first time I saw it, because it was when I was going through a slight depression phase, so it kept me from, it didn't keep me from anything, it just helped me get through that depression to find hope in everyday life, so that was one that had some meaning, but I just haven't gotten around to getting it or anything like that. And then there was another one I was thinking about getting where it kind of looks like your skin's opened up. I want to get it on my shoulder where it shows like the gears and everything on the
So like
inside.
you're a robot underneath.
Kind of like that. But I was always inspired by Modern Times, the silent film by Charlie Chaplin. I don't know if you're familiar with Charlie Chaplin.
Oh, I know who he is, but I've only seen like little snippets of clips of his work.
But there was an old film, obviously old.
'Cause that was
it's
all
a
the
silent
silent
film.
movies,
Yeah.
yeah.
So there was a silent film by Charlie Chaplin called Modern Times, where he was a factory worker, and there was a scene where he got sucked up into the machine, and he went through all the gears, and I just pictured that on my shoulder, but not like I always thought maybe have him in there, but that's. You don't need to do that. Just the gears is enough, and then I could tell the story from there. So that would be my ideas, but like the way I have it pictured in my head, I don't know. It would be a lot of money. It's already been 30 minutes.
They're crazy these days for prices. I think I don't know what they charge anymore.
Did you pause it already? The video keeps rolling, but that has to get paused at a
Refresh
certain
every
point.
so often.
Every 30 minutes, it makes you have to start over, basically.
Well, that's obvious. That's a little limited, don't you think? Where's the technology?
So we're gonna take a quick break and be right back.
Oh, you got all that in the podcast?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, you can edit that out for, content purposes or whatever.
Yeah, because on like the thing I recorded on, like I could record it on like a recorder, and then I never thought about that. I could always record it on something and then just add it to Anchor, and then splice it up however I want it.
But they do that so you could add like your own little ad in between.
Advertisement
for their platform.
For their platforms, for
And we
other
actually,
platforms.
if you ever actually listen to it on the podcast, we actually have something recorded. So like every
That's
time
like a
someone
sponsor.
listens to that podcast, we get like 25 cents.
I think
Something
Maybe
like
I-
5 cents, a
I
penny.
get a penny.
A penny. Okay.
But I'm
Hey, it adds
sure.
up.
But I'm sure when you get to a
That's
certain
why I
like
actually said
money
it.
amount, like other people will, like, eventually other people will reach out to you and like, oh, will you sponsor this during your show?
PBR.
Yeah, just saying.
Just saying, reach out to me.
Alright.
I reached out to you.
Are you ready? And we're back. So, your future tattoo is the one for your wife, your future tattoo, or?
Yep.
Do you have any other ideas or?
Just my wife's name in Chinese Mandarin with, I don't know, some kind of Chinese dragon type something or another.
Is it Mandarin because you want it to match like your other ones?
Yeah, and I wanted to learn Mandarin for a little bit, but that never came to fruition. It's life. Yeah, that's really it. I'd like to get some kind. I always wanted to have a big like Chinese dragon back piece. I think when I first really wanted a tattoo was when From Dusk Till Dawn came out, and George Clooney's got that
We could go on
badass neck sleeve
a whole podcast
going
about
on.
that movie.
And that was a great movie.
Yes, it was.
And that was when I contemplated getting something similar to that, but I have very strong feelings about neck tattoos now, and like face tattoos. And that's a whole other.
Yeah.
How do you feel about not like
Don't do it.
little
Don't
things
get teardrops.
like
Don't
our one coworker has like just the little tiny like nape of the neck kind of thing. That's okay. It's the dudes with the full blown
Yeah.
like sleeve on their neck, and to me it's just they don't obviously don't think about the future.
I mean, the
What
ones
they're gonna
that
look like when they're 70.
The ones I think are cute, too, that like sometimes on females you don't see unless they have their hair by the ones behind the ears. But like I feel like that would be like really hard to sit through because that's like on your head.
It's all a subjective level of pain, I guess. I messed up when I
I
first.
was gonna say on that topic, how was your pain levels?
I first got this one done, but then the top two characters didn't heal right because at the time I'd wear like sleeves and it would touch my sleeve and it messed up the scab or something or another. And then the same time I went in and got this side of my arm done, I got those two touched up, just the black and little spots, and the touch-up hurt worse than the whole other tattoo when they gotta go back over it because it's like scar tissue.
Yeah.
That stung a little bit, but otherwise I don't know, like after a little bit I just kind of like got numb to it, just the
Yeah.
buzzing of the skin.
I'm gonna say when they did it on my chest, it was just like, it just felt like someone was a million times an hour, not a minute, not an hour, just like punching you in the chest. But it didn't hurt. It wasn't a hurt feeling.
Yeah.
It was just more of an annoyance. It's like this needs to stop, but it's not going to. So you just sit there.
Yeah, when I went, the lady was actually surprised because she said like down here near your wrist is like a very sensitive spot. She was like, for your first tattoo, she's like, you didn't move, you didn't flinch. She's like, you literally sat there and like were so good. She's like, for someone with your first tattoo, you were like the best person to have. Cause like I just sat there and she like had a TV on. I just tried to like not focus on what she was doing because I don't like needles. I'm like, this is either gonna hurt really bad or this is gonna be okay. And when she started doing it, like after a while, it was just like a numbing feeling, and then it was just like irritating. But I was like, if I don't look and I don't focus, I'll be fine. So it actually wasn't bad. That's what I said. Anywhere else, I don't know, like if I would be able to sit still. That's why like behind of like your ears are cute, but that's like on your head. Or like how I said I wanted to get, it's stupid, but the cute little tiny heart on my foot, well your foot's already sensitive, that, but I was thinking that would be like, even if it was little painful.
Don't be scared.
Just do
It's a
it.
little bit of pain.
Just do it.
I was terrified when I
It'll
got this
pass.
one. I was like freaking out. I was like, oh my god, did she say she wanted to take me today?
Is
What
that
were
your
you
pet
watching
squirrel
The Office?
that I've heard so much about?
Oh, there's one in the
That's
deck.
one of them.
Oh, that's one of them. You guys got like a whole flock, huh?
Yeah. There's one in a deck eating.
I was
right now.
when I was pointing to, there was a ground squirrel.
Yeah.
The little guys.
Oh yeah, I
They live
think
on
I've
our
seen
deck.
them skeeter across the.
They take like 5 peanuts, shove them in their mouth, and run off.
So shall we jump into?
Yeah, there's like 3 of them on our deck right now.
Jump into relationship.
Yeah. Might as well cover this half.
Yeah. You guys, before, do you guys know any like the history of tattoos or anything like that? You didn't look into anything about tattoos for the podcast?
we don't
Well, I
research.
mean, didn't they used to
What we
like,
know is what you get.
did they do it with like wood or something? Because I mean, they,
Like the hen
that's what,
pay or
that's what I'm
whatever.
saying, because they
What
would
is it
like
called?
tap it in.
That's how like I think they originally started.
Like they get ink and then just like tap it in, but I think that
James
was,
Cook, the explorer. You know?
Come
You
on,
don't know
tell
about
us
that?
the story. This is a
No,
learning.
well, I learned recently that the word tattoo came from a Polynesian word like tau tau or something from Tahiti, because they were the first when James Cook landed there exploring. All the natives were covered with these elaborate markings and everything. And that was all I know about that. Just bits and pieces. Like Otzi or whatever, the Iceman that they found, he had tattoos all over him that they think was from medical purposes. Something about slicing a little piece of flesh and then rubbing charcoal on it or something.
Hmm.
And it's just about the marking of the flesh.
Yeah. Well, that's
And,
a
you know,
primitive form
the
of
Jews
tattoo.
had tattoos.
You're gonna get into that.
No. A little too controversial.
Well,
no.
too good.
But yeah, I just didn't know if you guys knew any of the. Like
Well, we
they
knew
found-
the last thing you mentioned.
They found mummies and stuff with tattoos, and it goes back for a long time. With I've heard a lot of like famous upper class royalty and stuff back in the early days would have tattoos secretly, even though like publicly they would completely go against them.
Yeah.
But behind closed doors, you know, have their little anchor on the chest or whatever.
Yeah.
The military has a lot of different rules between branches.
I was gonna say my brother-in-law's brother has his military insignia and stuff.
But yeah, they say that I think they're all against like neck tattoos or stuff that's visible on your face
Yeah.
or anything like that. But there was one, I can't remember if it was the Marines or the Navy, that like they had these really weird rules where you couldn't have the tattoo on your knees or your elbows or like your wrists and stuff, but it was specific, like within 2 inches of your elbow. So you could have your whole forearm sleeved as long as it stopped 2 inches before your
Wow.
elbow.
What? That's
Or
a-
not.
what's
I know
the
it was
point?
really. I was reading it and I was like, that's really.
Specific.
Yeah.
Very
So
specific.
I don't know the reason behind it.
If anyone knows the reasoning, if you're from the
Yeah,
Navy or
why?
Navy or what did you say, military?
Yeah, it was some branch of the military. I want to say it was the Marines or the Navy.
Marines.
That had very oddly specific rules of where.
If you're a Marine or
Tattoo
in the Navy, let us
place.
know.
yeah, 'cause it almost seems very weird. Like,
In
you
the
can
army,
tattoo up
in
to
the army, I
here.
think you could do anything as long as it's not on your face or neck.
Yeah, so it's not visible.
So. That's kind of.
But yeah, that's all I got, because I'm always a nerd about like how things started. And I felt a overwhelming amount of pressure coming out of here.
You say it.
And that's what it was. And I was like, man, I gotta study or something. I look like a fool.
You should know that we don't research.
Oh, like you had to do some research before you came on the podcast?
Well, just a few things. Like I looked into tattoos and stuff,
And cigars.
and cigars. Yeah.
See, which is so funny because I told Ken like I wanted to sit down and like write questions, everything, and then last night it was like 8 o'clock and I'm like, oh my gosh, I still haven't done the editing for our last video. I didn't do any prep questions. Like I was
I'm like, we
I'm
just
gonna
keep
go
it
for
real. We don't do this for our normal podcast, so let's just keep it how it is for when
But I
we
just
have
wanted it
guests.
to be different because it's like our first guest, so I wanted to be like somewhat prepared.
Oh, that's so
It already feels a little different, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're actually communicating.
Just having somebody else you guys can
Yeah.
talk to besides each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. It's already different, and everyone's gonna notice it's different.
Oh yeah.
It's at a different angle.
Yeah, it definitely is. So
So relationships.
let's jump into relationships.
Okay, but there's a lot of meanings to relationships.
Yes, there is.
And that's why we wanted to do them with tattoos, because like we all told our stories for our tattoos, they are connected with relationships, and Jeremiah with his kids and not soon to be wife, but tattoo that might be about his wife.
No, it will be.
Nope. And me with my relationship with my mom. You are a personal relationship with yourself, but
Yeah.
eventually it might be too with your turtles with your grandma or
Yeah.
great grandma.
grandma.
But relationships and tattoos go hand in hand, so now to the relationship side.
All encompassing like relationships, or are we
Any-
just talking about like significant other stuff?
Any relationship.
Any type
Work
of
relationships. Do we want to start with work?
I don't care where we start. I mean, we could start with work because obviously, with us working together, that formed a relationship. To him watching and listening to our videos, to be sitting in our cigar lounge right now, being part of our podcast.
Yeah.
Yep. I feel like I was here when it all started.
You were.
That was the first fan.
You were one of
First
the.
guess.
Yeah, you were. I mean, besides.
And I can look
like,
back on this in 10 years when you guys are.
And we're like Jeremiah.
You got you got your play button in the background and all your PBR paraphernalia because they sponsor you and everything. Like, yeah, I was there before it started, man. Back in the garage.
In our house, when we like in our house, and like we actually have like an actual studio for like.
Oh my goodness,
back in the original lounge.
Did my thing crack? Is that what happened?
It split a little.
Just the outer layer?
That's okay.
Back
That's
in
okay.
the
That happens?
That happens.
Back in the original lounge where it was like.
Yeah. You guys don't even know, man.
You don't even know. It was 90 degrees. We were sitting there with a little fan going.
Back when the struggle was real.
You're up, girl.
Work relationship?
Work relationships.
I mean, I have.
Without being too oddly specific.
Without being too
Well,
oddly
I
specific.
have work
Let's talk with.
relationships, but they're not like friendships. It's more like acquaintances. Cause like I'll talk to you at work, but I don't necessarily hang out with anyone.
Yeah, we don't hang out with.
Can you do a podcast on? I thought
It was like
Coworkers.
because I made an
coworkers.
obscure comment to you at work, and
Yeah, it was
like, I don't
coworkers.
even know what I've. Because I was like, I'm so glad you got somebody to talk to your administration about the outdoors.
Oh yes, it was coworkers. Cause on that one I was saying like how I was becoming friends with the females, and then yeah, then Jeremiah.
Yeah, that's because when I found out that Dolores probably doesn't get along with women.
I don't get along with women because women are just evil.
Well, you get along with most of the women at work, you know, right?
100 days.
100 days, not in a week. TMI.
I mean, it's like, just some women are just catty. And it's like, I don't want to be friends with people that just talk crap behind your back. Like,
But that's most of the guys too. Well, not most, but you know what I
you guys do
mean.
it to each
Yeah.
other's faces.
That's true. We're not subtle about it.
Like, women are just like, we're.
I mean,
like-
but there's some that are just worse than others, I would say.
I was saying with females, there's females that you can connect with and be friends with because you're like almost the same, and then there's those females that you just like, you can't, like, I'll talk to you, but there's no way I would go out and like do stuff with you because I just don't think that would be fun. Like, I don't connect with you on that like level that
I will
think
say
would
though,
be
with
fun.
the relationships at work, people are different at work versus outside of work.
Oh, well, yeah. Absolutely. But I'm just saying, I'm also very hard to
As
just.
far as being sober versus being hammered, you know, it's
Yeah.
Yes.
sing of the pop. It's like how that was a relationship, but what do you guys know?
Yeah.
You guys
That
are,
would be
you
real
guys,
nice.
our listeners, our main listeners here with us, so.
Yeah.
You guys remember the Poppin' episode? If you don't, go check it out, but that relationship was with a friend at work turned not bad, but just annoying and
Unwanted.
unwanted is to say the
Forced.
least. Forced. One-sided.
Yes.
But, I mean, you know, you live, you learn, right?
Yep, you have to make mistakes to learn from them.
So how are your relationships with coworkers at work? I mean, you don't have any because
I
you
don't,
just.
I have relationships. I mean, I'm friendly with everyone at work because I have to be, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to be the boss, but I'll have to, you know, not discourage people or hate on people. Like some
That's
people that are
hard.
supposed to be management that just belittle people and talk down to people and just don't know how to talk to employees when they claim to, you know, be proficient and that type of stuff. Proficient, is that the word? I think so.
I hated managing people. It's such a hard job because, like you said, it's, I mean, you want to
so many
be
different
the
person-
nice
you got
guy,
so many
but
different personalities.
you
to
gotta be a dickhead
cooperate
at
with.
times and like call people on their crap and it doesn't go over and you know, it's like, then after a while, at least for me, I think just retail killed me in that sense, but I just didn't care anymore. It's like either you're gonna do it or you're not, like I'm not gonna sugarcoat and baby through anything anymore, like I'm not, nice guys, done.
Yeah.
But I think
That's why I don't care
also
for it.
that's why when people are in like upper levels, and they're like trying like 'cause they're friends with somebody outside of work, and then you have to like reprimand them at work. It's
Yeah.
almost like
Like
weird.
fire them.
It's like but it's almost like weird.
3
Yeah.
days before Christmas.
Yeah. And it's almost like
Uh.
weird because it's like you have this work relationship, and you have this friend relationship, and sometimes when they like mix, then like feelings get hurt.
It's
You're
like-
oh
it's
really?
like-
Was
I'll
that 3
pitch you
days
to-
before Christmas?
No, I think
Oh.
he made it seem like that, but it was
No,
it was
like
like
weeks.
it had to be at
It was
least
Same
the
month.
beginning.
it had to be the beginning of
It was
December.
the beginning of December, but it was
But when you have to
still
sit down with
Christmas.
him, you're like, okay, nothing about your, you know, oh,
Yeah.
I don't even know how to say it.
Work is work.
Work is
Outside,
work.
like, you gotta leave that crap at the door.
Yep. Nothing personal,
No.
but time to leave.
Oh, now my turn about work relationships. Well, I think, like me too, I get along with most people. I, will sit and fume in myself inside when people don't work as hard as I think they should be working, but it doesn't
Doesn't mean that they're not
lessen my
trying.
view of them or anything, And like really, I mean, between the one person at work that we used to hate each other for, I think it was months, but now we get along great. We moved through all that. And pretty much get along with everybody. I always try to get along with everybody, just from, I think, it just being burned into me from management in the past, but I'm not trying to be the guy that is always pointing things out and everything like that. Try and get along with everybody. I always try and avoid conflict. Unless it's a heated
Sometimes you
debate on
can't.
Facebook or something, those you just can't turn away from. But yeah, I really enjoy working there just because it is such a small company and you can know the people more. You're not, and, like the
You know what you're
owners-
gonna get every day.
The owners
Yeah.
treat us like human beings, and you're not just a number that's there completely expendable to just keep production going.
Yeah, it's not like Walmart where you'll never see obviously the higher ups.
Yeah, they're not gonna be down.
At a smaller
on the floor.
company, you see the owners of the company on the floor working
Yeah,
most of the time. Not most of the time, but sometimes when you need
whenever
it.
they need to. I mean, it's, if you ever got a problem or anything, like they're in the building, it's not, you gotta email the HR person, to email somebody else, to email somebody else, and you might get a response. I dealt with that at Dollar General, because that was I think they were a Fortune 100 company at the time, massive corporation. It was so hard trying to get anything done outside of the store level. Don't miss it one bit. Retail killed me and gave me definitely a lower outlook on the general intelligence of the public.
No, I never did retail, I don't think. Well, the only place I ever worked with customers and customer service was Jewel. I worked there for a summer that was my first job. And I just couldn't stand working with people, like customers, and I worked at the movie theater too, and then I always wanted to do just the ushering job, just cleaning the theaters afterwards. I never wanted to do concession or ticket taking.
Yeah.
Where you have to actually
It's too
physically
people-y.
talk to people for the most part of your day. And then I
I'm
finally
just here for the discount.
Exactly. Got free movies, free popcorn. But then I got the job at where I work now. It's so much better, just because you deal with your coworkers and you're not, for the most part, you're not talking to customers. That's for the sales department.
Yep.
Well, that's why I think, like you said, when you are such a small company and you work with the same people every day, it gets easier to catch on to like certain moods and shifts and stuff, like when they come in and like, okay, I'm not really going to like say anything to you because you seem like something's off, or like you ask them like, hey, is everything okay? Like you start to notice like
Yeah,
things, those little like,
mannerisms.
yeah, like when they're upset, or when they're like fine, or when they like go to lunch and come back, but then like they're like pissed off about something. Like, okay, what happened? Like,
Except Ken, like really, like I pride myself on reading people, and you're like, I have such a hard time telling when he's upset or not.
I can tell, but that's only because I'm his
I
girlfriend.
was upset earlier today.
Yeah, you would.
I smacked the button on the machine.
Oh, because we couldn't stop the refrigerator. That time?
No.
Oh, I thought that's what you were talking
When
about.
our
No, it was
inspector
when-
got taken away.
Yeah.
Oh.
So like no one's looking at it, so no offense, but if anyone complains about it, no one's looking. So that's not on me. I told him right to his face. You witnessed that.
Just part of production.
Yep, that's all it is.
That's the word on the street.
Well, I just stopped it, so before I start this next one, because I'm just gonna
This
add
might be our
that.
longest episode.
I'm just saying,
I figured it would be. 'cause,
I'm
I mean,
just
We
gonna-
have more to talk about.
I'm just
and
gonna
more
add-
I
conversation.
can always think of random.
I'm just gonna
crap to
add this
spit out of my
one,
mouth.
because from the first one and this one, I'm gonna do the ad, and then from this one to the next one, I'm just gonna add it back to back. So it's like obviously, I think some people can tell, but I don't have another ad to add since I already won. So,
I think the thing about the cigars that this thing just keeps.
It'll keep going lower.
Okay, but it's just that.
Outer
outer
layer.
shell.
Yeah.
What do you do when it gets down to the?
Once it gets
The
down to
decal.
this, you could eventually, if you want to save it.
Oh, otherwise you can just peel it off.
Yeah. It just.
Do you save all your bands from your cigars? Oh my goodness.
Slowly, everyone I tried to smoke on the podcast, I'm trying to
Bless you.
put. Bless you. I tried to put out here now, so it's in the cigar
oh,
lounge.
so you're not gonna get mad like that guy in psychology, like George says. God bless you too. His
No,
wife,
but-
and he's like,
Why would I get mad?
demon. Just like.
Cultural habits.
I say God bless you.
Now that we've talked about work relationships, what other kind of relationships do you want to talk about? Unless you want to go into a significant other relationship.
Personal relationship.
Yeah, who knows where that'll lead? That's a whole rabbit hole.
We won't get too deep, but
Does your audience know like you guys' relationship history experience?
if they listen to her
Since
podcast,
we
maybe.
will have a full spectrum with this episode.
All right, for anyone that doesn't know, me and Dolores. For people that don't know my name, because I don't think we've ever said that.
I said it in this episode
Did
for
you?
the first time, yeah.
All right, I'm Ken. Nice
Yeah.
to meet you. And
You
that's
obviously
Dolores.
know I'm Dolores.
We've been dating now for 5 years, 5.5,
Yep.
almost 5.5 years now. We've had our ups and downs. We're working through everything. We're going strong now. No issues. No major issues.
Yeah, no major issues.
Small things, basics of a relationship, but
Yeah.
nothing bad.
And that's part of the reason we actually started Friday nights in the cigar lounge, because it was another way of us bonding and doing something fun together. And I'm actually surprised he decided to do it.
And it started because of the whole coronavirus and there was nothing to do.
Well, yeah.
Silver linings.
Silver linings. Some of the best ideas come out of pandemics.
Yeah.
That was a fact that.
Some of the best memes I've ever seen have come from this whole thing.
Not even pandemics. I think like during the 2008 recession, some of the best ideas and innovations in the country have come out of those darker times.
Well, I just remember because I asked you to do one episode with me, and then you ended up loving it, and that's how
And
this
now
happened. So
Every day I need a new podcast.
Yeah, like when I first heard about it or whatever, it was just so weird to me because I know how apprehensive you were in front of the cameras when like PBS showed up to do that special
Yeah.
work. But I guess that's a different thing when you're in the comfort of your own place and
Not
you just
at
got
work with
a,
the camera in your
Yeah.
face.
small camera to look at. You don't got some big production quality guy following you.
You don't got four people staring at you as it's
Yeah.
filming.
well, and another thing he didn't like too is like whenever I was like, just record one episode. He's like, I don't like the sound of my voice.
I
And
hate
I'm like,
my
to be
voice.
honest with you, whenever even record with him or record my own episodes, like I hate listening. Like I'll listen back on episodes and I hate the sound of my voice. Like I just hate it. But it's the message that's getting out there, so it is what it is. It's not for me. It's for you.
Yeah, I hate my voice, but that's not really a relationship topic. So. Side note.
Want to
What's
share?
your relationship with yourself?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I hate
sure.
myself.
Oh, well.
Jeez.
No.
I know you're all emo.
Want to share backstory on your relationship, Jeremiah?
Well, let's see. Okay, I've been married 13 years. This last April, 2 kids. Youngest one just turned 13 on the 10th, and the oldest one just turned 15 last Monday on the 20th.
Not to cut you off, but I don't know why I thought you had more than and 2 kids. And I know you talked about your tattoos, but
You thought he had more than 2?
yeah, I thought you had like
No.
3 sons.
No, we stopped and my wife got fixed after the
Okay.
second kid. We're like,
You
no,
got too many squirrels
we're
around here.
done. That's enough.
I think we don't have enough.
That's your fault. You got all these
Guys hiding over there, the guy over
It's
there.
that tree's fault.
No, it's all the food we throw them. They don't live in this tree.
Oh, they just hang around because they know that
Yep.
gonna be
There's
babies.
no nest in this tree. It's
No.
all across the street.
squirrels. I
Usually.
told Jimmy John's can't find their place. I said, I don't feel like going there. Just take.
Do you want me to start both of them at the same time? Well, this
Yeah.
is already started. So.
Yeah, you can start them both.
Sorry, had to take a second because the neighbors came out and started talking. Back to Jeremiah.
Back to me. Should I just go over the
So-
kids and stuff again, or are you
Yeah.
just
Well,
gonna-
now-
Brief summary.
Now that we've proved something
Brief
that you only
summary.
have 2 sons, so.
Yeah, I only have 2 children.
Sorry.
Oldest one just turned 13 on the 10th, or oldest one just turned 15 last Monday on the 20th. My youngest son just turned 13 on the 10th. And I've been married 13 years, with my wife 16 years. And yeah, we met at the Log Cabin Restaurant in Bearwood that we both worked at. And a lot of our old coworkers actually still work there. It's really weird. For me anyways.
You go there to eat.
No, she does.
Funny man. He's not telling you.
Huh? She does, but I don't.
Break. You see what we had to deal with.
Yeah, first, yeah. Well, I'm not for her.
So, sorry once
So
again.
getting back to Jeremiah's story,
Right.
let's do a
Right.
summary.
No, she can edit all that.
Our neighbor butted in again, so.
But we like them, so it's okay.
That's how you know this is the real deal. It's not scripted out. You never know what can happen.
Yeah, that's why I already say we're
Hey,
not
look,
like.
there's a white truck.
You pay for the whole seat, but you only use the edge.
That's why I said like we're outside, so anything can happen. A million times we pause and just edit it all. I just put it all together. So.
Yep, that's what you gotta do. Alright,
But okay,
relationships.
yeah, let's see.
We're gonna short summary. Married for 13
Married
years,
13,
2
yeah.
kids.
Yep. Teenage kids.
Teenage kids, one starting high school.
Yep, he's gonna be a freshman next year, and he's gonna be getting his learner's permit, driving.
Is that anything nervous?
No, I'm excited for it. He's not, doesn't at least seem as
He's
excited
older
for
than,
it,
he's,
but
in his mindset, he's older than some of the people at work.
he's very much so. He's a peculiar kid. I think a lot of it is due because he's high functioning autistic, you know, or whatever the preferred term may be now. I've recently heard that they don't like being called autistic or something, or just the whole, you know, all the groups have their own
It's offensive.
spokes, yeah, offend somebody. But anyways, but he's more or less just like a very odd, I don't want to say like socially inept, but he's,
Have you seen,
He's-
have you seen Community,
I have not.
the TV show? Is he like an op-ed?
He's probably.
We don't know
He
your
is-
son, we're not gonna like profile your son, but if you ever seen the show Community, he's like just that awkward kid.
He's a lot like me if I were not to have any kind of getting along with people skills kind of thing, like just the snarky, sarcastic,
So, yeah.
butthole side of me.
Yeah, so not bad.
Yeah.
He's very straightforward and
Yep, that describes it perfectly.
doesn't, you know, like I'll be like, hey buddy, hi, when I come home from work, and as he's walking back to his room to work on his animations and stuff that he makes. But yeah, let's see, we met at a restaurant in Bearwood that we both worked at. I worked there for quite some time when I was younger, and I would leave and come back and leave and come back. And when I came back, I was working at a bakery, and she was working on the line there as one of the line supervisors. I would help on the line when they needed help or whatnot, because I had the experience, and we ended up, I don't know if it was after we hung out outside of work the first time or before that, but she claims that because she had these short pigtails, and I was giving her shit about trying to bring the pigtails back into style. And she said that was the moment, like, she knew I was the one. I was like, well, see,
That's cute.
some people like the jerks.
Some people. I mean, no offense, I'm a jerk sometimes. I can
Yeah.
be an ass, but
Yeah.
not when it matters. I'm not.
Yeah.
And we bumped into each other at a bar in Baraboo one time after work, and had a few cocktails and stuff, and then we started hanging out. Then, one thing led to another, and next thing I know, we're living together, and then we're pregnant, and then we're moving up to Princeton from Baraboo.
Were you pregnant or was she?
It's always you're pregnant.
It's both. It's always both, right?
Unless she's adamantly against me saying that. Say you're,
She's one of those.
you're
Yeah,
pregnant.
it's me doing it all, right?
I'm doing all the work. I'm carrying this thing around inside me.
It's a team effort.
Yeah, that's been we've had our crazy roughy patches, and we've had great times, and we did briefly split up for a summer where I thought my whole life was coming to an end, because she's my rock. And we worked everything out and got back together, and everything's been pretty great since. I think a lot of it might have just been getting out of the town we were in at the time. And there was just a lot of emotional stuff going on her end and my end. And really, like, living in Packwaukee is, I like it. It's quiet. It's like perfect for both of us. Because I just found out apparently like a year ago that I am an introvert. And I never really
You just found that out. We
realized
knew
it.
that from the beginning.
And I'm like, you know what? I just really am not into people so much.
Yeah, that's how I am. I don't know about you.
That's why
I think
whenever I
you
go
know.
hiking, I always go out by myself, or I try and go way off the trail somewhere. You won't catch me at Devil's Lake anywhere in the summertime. I just don't know.
It's like when we go out on the lake. It's like if we go to Swan Lake, there's too many people.
Yeah.
Let's go to Silver Lake. There's not a lot of people. And when there are people, it's time to get off the lake.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. I think we're all introverts
Yes,
there.
I think
And yet
we
we're
are.
all together. Isn't that like an oxymoron? Kind of.
In a sense, there's more selective of the people that we choose to
Introverts hanging
associate
out with introverts rather than extroverts because they bring more people.
Or they want
Yeah.
you to go places
Yeah.
where more people are, and you're just like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
It's like I'm fine out in public and stuff if I gotta be, but it's like I'm not for being at like a giant crowded bar or even
That's all some
even
people
sporting
want.
events. Really, like I'm not a sports guy anyways, but even it's just when it's really crowded, I don't get any kind of like anxiety about it or anything like that. But it's just, I hate to say it, there's just too much stupid in a concentrated area for me.
That's why I'm a Sox fan because the seats are empty. Not a lot of
Makes
people
sense.
there. You go to Wrigleyville.
Yeah.
You got all the higher class, not high class, but the ritzy titsy, whatever you
Yeah.
want to say. You got they're all drunk. The stadium is packed. That is not where I want to be. Just saying. But I'll go to the Hawks. I mean, hockey. In my personal opinion, though, hockey fans are different.
Yeah.
Like you get the dumbasses, but most of the fans of hockey are there to actually watch the game. They're
Yeah.
not there to get drunk and cause commotion and fight the person next to them. I think it's different for every sporting event too, I would have to say, based on my experience at least.
What are you guys' because, you know, I'm gonna put you on the spot coming here, like, what do you guys have planned for your future, you know?
Yeah, Ken, let's go.
Because, man, I'm telling you, you guys don't know these guys, but I think they would make some cute babies.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, what was it? It was shortly after
Well, I
Jared.
mean,
No.
why do you think she's not drinking?
No, it was shortly.
That was the big reveal.
I'm kidding.
It was
I'm
like,
kidding.
what was it, like months after Jeremiah found out that I was your girlfriend when we started working together, and it was like, we
Well,
started
that was another thing at work. We were told that
Oh,
you know
yeah.
don't say it.
don't
Like
say
don't
it
don't.
to people.
We're not the type of
We're not
people that will
promoting it.
promote a relationship at work, in the beginning at
Right.
least. But it was one of those things where
Sounded
he was
like it
probably
supposed to be a secret or
he was
something.
the last he was the
Yeah.
last one to know out of everyone at work, I think, right?
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
To the point where Dolores felt bad about it.
I
and,
did. I felt
Like, asked Ken
horrible.
to tell me, because
Because everybody else knew but you, and I was like, Jeremy's the only one that doesn't
Just
know.
he was like, come on, she's got what Illinois place. You have to know. You talk like you talk to her like you
He
know
kept
her.
asking like how I
Yeah.
knew certain
It's the-
people, and I was just like, oh my
How do you know
Because
Rebecca?
when
How do you
Mike
know
worked
Mike? Yeah.
when Mike's like, oh, hey, Dolores, I'm like, something's going on here. She worked for them in Illinois or something. Like,
God.
there's
I remember you
something. How does
asking
Mike
me
know
that.
her?
You're like, did you work for them in Illinois? I'm like, no. You're like, so how do you know that? I'm like, we were friends in Illinois. I was like, I know them from Illinois. We were friends. They're like, oh, okay.
But yeah, we're not the type of people to promote our relationship at work. We'll try to keep it as professional as we
Yes.
can. And I think we do a good job at that. I don't think it's like some people, but
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, you guys get along well and are like an example of that, you know,
It could work.
people in a relationship together can work together and keep most everything separate.
Yeah.
So
You know, I don't know what the heck you guys freaking fight about in your office when I'm not looking at you.
That's
That's why
why
you
you
guys
knock.
have your office.
That's why you knock, right, before you come in.
Because what
Oh,
was
you
it?
told me I didn't have to.
You
So
don't
I
have
just-
to, just walk in.
That's
when I
pop in.
The pop in.
I'm the pop
Do you
in
like
at
the
work.
pop in?
I hate the pop in.
Hate the pop in. I wanted to like it.
Well, it was like in the first year, like, of me working there, Jeremiah's like, so when are you guys having kids? And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, I was like, you do realize if like we have kids, they'll stay home. You're like, no, just bring them here and I'll babysit them. Do you remember that? I was
We'll just
like, what?
throw them in the office.
You're like, just bring them here. It's
Yeah,
okay.
just
We'll
bring
put
it
a
in.
portable air conditioner in there. We'll make it
They
work.
can put stickers on your glasses or something.
They can do the hand wash only. It doesn't have to be centered.
Oh my gosh. So ridiculous.
But yeah, so our plans,
Yeah, our plans.
There are plans.
There are plans.
eventually marriage. I'm not against it.
What kind of time frame are we talking about here?
Her time frame is before she wants to be
I want to be married by
Married
the time
before
I'm
the
30.
election?
by 30.
No, by the
She
time
wants to
I'm
be married
30.
by 30.
I'll be
I'm all
married
for
to
that.
him by 30.
And how old are you now?
I'll be 27 this year.
I'm all for that.
That's a
And I want to be.
good time frame. Let him get
Well, and we at
Like
least.
shit
built up in his head.
together.
And we at least want to be engaged for 2 years.
2 years, so
he would
a
either
year.
have to
Proposal in a
propose
year.
next year or propose when I'm 28. So then it would make it 2 years. So I would be married by the time I'm
What
30.
can I do at the Christmas party at work?
Don't do that. Don't do it at work.
Yeah, that'd be.
That would
As
be
I'm
disappointing.
as we're running the K-15, you're just all pissed off at people. I was to be like, hey, does this make you happy?
No.
Oh my God.
No.
All the bottles are breaking.
Because the thing.
Shut up! There's magic happening here.
The thing he knows is, which is, I can say is almost 100% true, is that shortly after we married, because we've been together for so long, I would almost like to be like married a year before we have kids, but I almost feel like after we get married, shortly after that, I will get pregnant and we will have a kid, and then I'll be out of it. So. You have until
We're trying to
11:30
do.
to work with me.
We're trying to do things the right
Clock's
way.
ticking.
I don't think I'm sweating. I think
Yeah,
he's
props to
probably
you
sweating
for-
it.
I'm not sweating.
That's funny.
Well, maybe right now.
I applaud that, trying to do things the right way. Because, like, I mean, obviously I love both my children, but, like, neither one of them were planned or anything. They were just unexpected. Not that they weren't wanted. We loved both of them, and we were happy both times that she got pregnant.
Not like Kanye West saying.
It wasn't just
abortion.
like we're sitting down and planning it.
Won't get into
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah, like some people like sit down and they're like, okay, we're gonna try this month to get pregnant, and then they plan.
I think
Right, we weren't, like, tracking
my sister
ovulation
and
and all
brother-in-law,
that
they
stuff.
planned, like they
Yeah.
didn't plan it, but they were trying.
They were trying, yes.
They
So
were
it's pretty
trying.
much planning and trying. It's like,
They weren't preventing it.
I mean, we've had a conversation too. Like, if it happens before we got married, it's like
It was meant to
it's
be.
just something that happened, and it was just like I would not be upset.
I
It would
wouldn't
be
mind. I
shock-
wouldn't mind a kid. I say that now, but.
Well, it would be like something that's like shocking at first, but I would like not be like
If your
upset. I would
world
be
turns
excited.
upside down for a minute, and then you're
Yeah.
like, oh,
Like I would just be
we
happy.
can make that work.
Yeah, like you'd figure out to make it work. So I mean, if it happened before we got married, it's not like,
But
oh
we're
my
not
gosh,
trying.
we're not trying. But if it's something that happened, it's not like a curse. Like it's just meant to be.
It's not like we're gonna. Yeah.
But we're planning on doing it the right way. Is getting married and then having kids.
We won't get into all these touchy subjects, but
Yeah.
it's not like we're gonna seek alternate plans for
No.
not having a child
No.
if it happens. Like, well, that's our plan. So by the time she's 30, married.
And then kids shortly, probably after.
And what's with the, like, being engaged for
2 years.
2 years?
It gives
Like, what's the
us-
significance of that? Just being
Gives
engaged
enough
versus?
time to.
Because
Technically,
it's like a promise?
technically, what she said, I gave her
Like,
a
you need
promise
you need a
ring.
contract.
I have a
to-
promise ring, it just doesn't fit. So after I was dating for a year, I had a promise ring. It just, my fingers got too big and swollen one time, and it just wouldn't come off my fingers. I'd take it off when I showered, because other than that, it would like almost like leave my fingers raw. So I took it off, and then I kept trying to do that, and it's a weird shape. It's not like round, it's like oval.
It's an oval, so you can't get it
So you can't get it altered.
refitted.
and
They-
refit it.
That's what they say at least. but-
So
Yeah,
I.
you would just have to go to a jeweler.
Yeah.
Like, there was this dude in Baraboo that I had to get my wife's ring resized at, and he was like the only one that would touch it. And,
'Cause
yeah,
you
you
could,
gotta
like,
find
snap,
one of
you
those
could
like
break it or-
at-home
yeah.
quirky
Yeah.
guys that really knows what they're doing.
So I would still be wearing that, but it just doesn't fit. But if he asked me to marry him, I'd want 2 years just to make sure like we have the money, we get everything like in order,
Planned.
we
So
get
2
everything
years worth
planned.
of planning.
Yeah.
So 2 years worth of me doing
Because I was like,
nothing.
does he get time served since you had the promise ring a year into the relationship, and it's how many years later now? Like, does that count towards the engagement time? No.
We've been together for 5 years, so.
Had that one barrel.
Don't try to start stuff.
Well, that's what I said, like, if he asked me to marry him next year, after I turn 27, or.
Then we got
like,
3 years of engagement.
Or shortly
Is that
after,
not how it works?
or shortly after I turn 28. I want at
That's
least.
like the deadline. She
You
said.
want to be married by 30, but you also have said that you just want to be engaged.
I would be fine being engaged for 3 to 4 years. Just so I know that, I don't know, engagement ring to me, like, once you ask me to marry you, it's saying that, like,
Yeah,
at
we know.
some point, you're going to marry me and, like, start a future with me. That's, like, to me, what that means.
Yeah, you can tell it goes out sometimes when the ash is further in than the wrap.
I just hope there's no cigar people watching. They're gonna rake me across the coals for relighting.
I'm
this the
gonna
wrong
make
way or
an
something.
account that says like cigar lover and comment like, what the fuck is this guy doing? No.
No.
Sorry, I just want.
Yeah, all the trolls welcome. feel free to troll me about my inexperience.
Well, if no one's ever trolled me yet, I don't think they're gonna say anything about you. Just saying.
Well, you gotta give it time. You gotta
There's-
get out there first.
Right.
Once you get bigger, you'll get the trolls.
Like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. I know. Like, that's the point.
recording in 32-bit audio instead of 64-bit. You always get those people. That's part of. I think that was probably one thing about my YouTube channel too that I didn't, because that definitely comes with it. That's what I do like about Instagram in a way, because it's against the terms of service to basically troll people and talking negative and all this stuff. So it's really happy vibe on Instagram, as opposed to Facebook. When you post on Facebook, if it's anything public, or if I get into another fight about debating rock stacking in the ecosystem and I lose it.
So I know you said your wife got pregnant when you got married. Like, was
She
there
got pregnant, then you got married?
was there
Yes.
ever like an engagement period? Like you asked her to marry her and
Yep.
then you were engaged for a while and then you got married?
Was there a
I
honeymoon?
asked her father's permission to marry her and everything.
Honeymoon?
Our honeymoon was, we got married in 2007.
So
We
how long
had-
were you engaged for? Like she was
Uh,
pregnant and then you got engaged, but how long were you engaged before you actually got married?
I don't even think she can answer that, so I'm not
I'm not gonna
gonna.
say
I'm not
anything.
gonna try and.
Like it wasn't like a year. It was like within
This was like
months.
This
almost
was like
2 decades ago.
This was like pre-recession, pre-corona. There's so much more.
Well,
to
you
it-
said that she
to
was
life
pregnant
now.
when
You know,
you
we had
guys.
George W. as
George
president.
W.
You found out she was pregnant when you said she was pregnant when you got married. So obviously,
Yes.
you asked
We-
her to marry her, and then you got married within 9 months before your first son was born.
I can't remember if we got engaged after she was pregnant with our second child or not. We had our first kid in 2005,
Okay.
and that's when we moved up to Princeton. And then I'm thinking probably sometime after we found out she was pregnant with our second kid, we
Okay.
were like, look, we need to get married or something. I think we were both against having a kid out of wedlock or something at the time. But yeah, we got married on April 20th, 2007, right on the shore of Sturgeon Bay.
That date is familiar.
Yeah, it's Hitler's birthday.
Columbine
Columbine shootings.
Yeah,
you know,
you're talking about the tattoos, about the Jews.
No,
The day,
it's not.
well, I just want to say that
No dots to connect there, I
the
promise.
day before that is our anniversary.
Yeah.
That's why I said that.
Yeah. But then we had our honeymoon in Door County because we were staying in Sturgeon Bay and got married on the shore of Sturgeon Bay, right next to the Bridgeport Resort that we were staying at the time. And it was very shotgun wedding-ish feel about it. Like, you know, I've got my pregnant wife, we're getting married, got our reception at the Applebee's across the street. Father-in-law's wearing his NASCAR jacket. But it was awesome. It's a memory. Got pictures of all of it. It was very small. I just had one of my best friends from high school was my best man, and him and his girlfriend at the time, and their kid came up, and then it was immediate family. And then we spent the weekend in Door County, and then we would go back there for our anniversary for the first few years, and then the past, I don't know how long since we've pretty much given up on Door County, because being that it's the end of April, like everything is still dead, and that pre-spring just
You don't have the
muted
leaves,
earth
you don't
colors.
have-
It's not, leaves on the trees. Half the stuff isn't even open. And then we just started going other places and stuff to check other things out. Definitely best anniversary to date was going to Colorado for my first time. And
Was that because of legal marijuana, or?
That was part
Part
of
of
it.
it.
That was just the icing on top, though. But man, those mountains were like so gorgeous out there.
Mountains are nice.
And the only drawback to the time of the year that we went, and it was only because I didn't research it, going forward, they have I think it's the Transcontinental Divide, it's called. That's the road that goes, that's like the only road, I believe, in Colorado that goes through the mountains to the other side. Otherwise, you gotta drive way down the bottom of the mountains and drive really far north or south to get
Not
to
to
another
put you
way.
on the spot, but do you know the mountains out there? Is it the Rockies?
Yeah, the Rocky
Okay,
Mountains.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yep.
Not trying to put you on the spot, I just
We
didn't
were-
know 100%, so I'm just asking.
We stayed up in the mountains in this little town called Estes Park that was probably a 10-minute drive to Rocky Mountain National Park. And it was just amazing. There's like elk walking through downtown in the town. It's a small
Yeah,
little
that was,
like
when-
quarter-sized town.
When I was younger, my parents used to take us on vacations. I don't even remember it, but I've been to Estes Park, the Rocky Mountains. I've been to like,
It's a beautiful area.
Yeah.
I can't like
I
just
don't
waking
even-
up every morning
that's the,
and just having those
I don't
mountains
remember
in
it
the
though. That's the
background.
bad thing about it, because I was so young at the time.
No, I think we're both just waiting for the kids to get growing out of the house and we'll probably move back there. But that'll be a toss-up too, because I can't leave you guys at work. I have to talk Steve into moving to Colorado.
Opening up a branch in Colorado.
Yeah, there you go.
Because we're too full already in Wisconsin. Might as well move to Colorado.
Expand, that's working with the new machine.
Expand. You guys stay here. We'll move to Colorado and run it.
I got this.
Yeah, this is definitely our longest podcast.
Dude, that was like another like 27 minutes. Like holy crap.
Oh my goodness.
This is the longest we've done, like an hour and a half.
Jeremiah's like, damn, I gotta watch all of this.
Are you actually gonna watch this one?
Oh yeah, I watch them all. I'm always been a huge fan of like talk radio. I watch Joe Rogan podcast.
you're,
And this can be like 4 hours.
Oh yeah.
Your loader friend is very eager to watch this episode.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
not gonna say his name.
Oh, because he knows you're
He
gonna be
subscribes,
here.
guys.
Oh yeah, he does.
He's like, I can't wait for next Friday. You know I'm talking about you.
So where do you want to go next? Is there like another?
There's no specific, just to roll
I'm just
it.
saying,
We're in the mountains.
I'm rolling it. Not moving the business to Colorado. Just put it.
We're moving to Colorado,
No.
guys.
you heard it here first.
We'll talk them into it. We got to expand.
After the marriage and the baby.
Yep.
Yeah, where I was talking to another coworker today.
You're not gonna throw me off my rhythm. Just saying. By saying this type of stuff.
No, it's okay.
Talking to
I wasn't
another
expecting to.
coworker today. I was sitting across from today, which is funny that this is a conversation in the episode we're having because she asked me, she's like, so when you guys getting married and having babies and stuff like that, and I'm like, it's so perfect because this is like the type of like episode we're doing today's relationships. And I knew those topics were going to come up, so I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, you guys are a cute couple.
Oh, I'm adorable.
Good try.
Good try.
Especially with all your those couples like Halloween outfits you guys do.
Oh, our matching
Like I
ones.
still think of the one with like you were Freddy Krueger and he was Wolverine, with holding up the claws.
I wasn't Wolverine.
He wasn't Wolverine, he was
I
Freddy
was
Krueger.
You were Freddy Krueger.
She
We were
was
both-
Freddy.
we were I
Female
was
Freddy.
Mrs. Freddy Krueger. We were
Oh,
both Freddy
okay.
Krueger.
You're both Freddy
He just
Krueger.
didn't, yeah.
I just didn't have
It
the
was,
mask on
I
with
think
the
it was
first
that.
face.
That's what made me think of Wolverine.
Like that's what I wanted people to think because I was Wolverine because I wanted to be Wolverine, but there was no couple to go with Wolverine. It could have been like Professor Xavier, but you would have put a bald cap on.
That was our first one.
Yeah,
And then after that was
We were-
Mario and Luigi.
Mario, Luigi,
And then
Fairly Odd
after-
Parents.
No, before that
The
was
Cats.
Cats. Yeah.
Did you see
When
the
he
cat
wore the
one?
tux and then I was a full.
Whether you guys are cats.
You gotta pull it.
He-
Oh, you
I
can't
had-
pull it up.
I had a full cat onesie
He had a
with like
cat
a
onesie.
hat, and he was in a suit with just a cat head that was in our closet. And every time
I
we
wore
opened it,
it like a
there's me.
suit, like a suit without the jacket, the vest,
Yeah.
a white shirt with the tie.
Yeah.
And I just wear this giant
Cat
black
head.
cat head.
Because the only reason.
Oh, like one of those ones you get at Walmart and stuff.
It was
Yeah,
at Target.
I got it at
Giant.
Target.
Yeah, I was
yeah.
in Target. Because the only
That was
reason.
my costume.
The only reason we did that is because that was like the first year we had our cat, and we had him in a little.
We actually brought him to the
We
Halloween
had
party
him in
at
a
my
little
sister's.
sweater.
And
And we held him
we
and
took
took
pictures
pictures.
with them. We were a big cat family. Relationships.
That was the cat that you have now.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only cat we've had
Yep.
together.
Yeah, and then we were Fairly Odd Parents last year.
Two
The year
years ago.
before,
We
yeah.
didn't do anything
We
for
didn't do
Halloween last year.
Yeah. Because each year we always do it at your sister's party.
That was the first year of the baby, so we didn't do anything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta pull up this cat picture. So
Yeah,
Jeremiah
oh my
can
gosh,
see
I
it.
can't believe you've never seen that. I'll have to post it
Well,
so
I
everybody
don't
can
like
see
troll
it.
you guys' Instagram or anything.
I
You
think
would-
Because it's probably on Instagram.
it's on mine.
It's on my. I don't have it on
I
my.
think
It's on mine.
I think I saw the
I think I post it like every year.
Freddy Krueger one on one of your Instagram pages.
All right, relationships with animals. On to the next topic.
Yeah.
Definitely a cat guy.
Oh yeah, 100%. Dogs. No offense if you like dogs. I'm sorry, but.
I like dogs,
I-
but I would prefer cats.
But you
over
had dogs growing up.
Oh,
We
yeah,
never
I've
had
never.
dogs. My family never had dogs. We had a cat growing up.
And I had dogs
Dog.
growing
My
up
parents have a
and
dog
cats.
now.
They have a dog now,
But growing
but
up,
when
you
I was
never
a
had a dog.
child, up until I moved out, they didn't have a dog.
I was never allowed to have a cat because my mom's highly allergic
And now
to
she
cats.
has what? A cat?
Well, she has a cat, but she takes medicine and she doesn't touch like the places the cat sits or anything. But if she like touches the cat or the places the cat is and touches her face, she'll just like blow up and like it's really bad.
I'm surprised your brother's allergic to
My brother
cats
takes
slightly,
medicine too, yes.
but he's not like your mom.
He's not like my mom, but he still like if he touches the cat and like rubs his face, he'll get like sniffles and stuff like that and red. But he takes like medicine for it, so it's not as bad. I'm surprised with my mom and my brother being allergic. Like I'm not allergic to cats.
Yeah,
I
you
think
are.
it's just the pet dander or something is what you're technically allergic
Like
to.
the fur. Yeah.
Something with their
If you have a
skin
if
cells.
you have a skin,
Yeah.
if you have a hairless cat, you won't be
Oh
allergic
yeah, you won't
to
be
them.
allergic to them. It's something to do with the hair. But yeah, we grew up with dogs. I had dogs my whole life, and I always wanted a cat. My dad told me, "You can have a cat, but your mom's allergic." So when we moved
You
here,
could
that
have
was
a
my
cat if your mom wasn't here. No.
No.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
See, to me, like, I love dogs. We've had dogs in the past, but they're just more work than
Yes.
I'm willing to put in at this point in my life.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those, like, you gotta find, like, when I do hiking and stuff like that, or camping, it's like, you gotta research ahead of time for, you know, their rules regarding dogs and
It's
accommodations
funny
for
that you brought
dogs.
that up because the first time we were thinking about going to Door County, we've never been to Door County. But the first time we were looking up hotels, it was when we first got him, when he was
We
a
were
baby
trying
or
to
a
find
cat.
one to
And we're like, do you
take
accept
in.
cats? They're like, no. No, no, no.
It
There was
funny
this one
because
place
they
that said
said-
yes,
it was
but
funny 'cause they
Like
said
a
you
it's,
could
$500
it's
bring-
an
deposit.
unusual like request.
Yeah, because all the places said you could bring your dog, but a
Like, what
cat-
about my feline friend?
What about my cat? Oh yeah, that was when we first got him.
That was when he was a baby after you tried to kill him.
Oh, that was a nice one. I gave him like a pill that you're supposed to give like an adult.
No, it was there
One
was
of those
a.
ones you're supposed to crush up and mix in the
It was
No,
like
it's a
it was like a
flea.
flea pill that he was supposed to get from 6 months and above.
No,
But he-
1 pound. He was supposed to be 1 pound and he was under 1 pound.
1 pound is ridiculous. It was like
It was a certain amount of
yeah,
pounds.
there was a certain amount of
that he
weight,
was supposed to be. He was supposed to be a certain amount of weight, and he was just under.
weight or
the-
age.
it was weight and age, but there was a certain amount of weight he was supposed to be hit.
And he was under
literally
the weight by 1
by
pound.
1 pound.
And he had a seizure.
And he had a seizure.
After like 2 weeks, he was on the ground in our
I
kitchen,
was
like just
crying.
twitching. His
It
paw
was
was
so
twitching.
upset.
And I was like, she was like, "What do you want to do?" I was like, "I don't fucking know." So I was there holding him. I'm like, "Okay." So we took him in the car as he was still doing that, and we
He
took
was
him
still
to
doing it in my
Madison.
arms, but halfway through he started
He
acting
calmed down
normal
and it was
again.
normal, and he's like, "Oh, you gave him this medicine. He was under the weight, so that's exactly why it
Yeah.
happened."
She's like, he was
By
like a
1
pound
pound.
under the weight. She's like, that's why it happened. She's like, just don't give
I'm
him.
like, after 2 weeks of having this cat, we almost killed him.
It was so upsetting.
And that's why he always bites you in the morning.
Probably.
Is that the ash on your cigar all hanging off there?
Yeah.
I thought it went out
Magic.
for a minute and you were trying to relight it.
No, that's just what it, I mean, like the guy that says he's not a cigar expert has the best ash.
Yeah.
Oh man, that freaked me out for a second.
White car. White car! If you hear us say white car, you're not going to see us on the screen
Or
anymore.
if you see me dive behind the chair over there.
White truck. But yeah, that's, I mean, if the ash burns like that, but it's still even, so it all depends how the cigar burns.
What's your opinion on the
What's your opinion on the cigar?
The cigars.
He always forgets to do his like.
I'm still
opinion.
timing it. That's a good thing. Hour and
Yeah,
a
that's
half.
one thing I think, like, you should do like just a little, like, 5-minute segment or whatever towards the end or whenever a podcast, just giving your,
My opinion on the cigar. That's what I've been trying to do lately.
Yeah.
I've been trying to put in, like, the one where I talk about the cigar cutter. It's like I'm trying to get more into actually talking about the cigar stuff.
Yeah.
I can't taste any of the flavors, but I also have a horrible palate from decades of smoking cigarettes and drinking. But I can't taste any of the, I think when I looked at the website, it
Any
said
of the-
something about the
or-
vanilla.
Vanilla.
and-
I don't taste vanilla.
I mean, I can kind of like my lips a little bit.
Let me
There's a
hold
lot
on.
of sweetness.
I inhaled.
Can't breathe.
There was a moment I was tasting more of the earthy tones, like the wood and the, I don't know what it is. Like I said, I'm trying to find my palate too, like
Yeah.
the cigars. I don't know. It's very smooth though. It doesn't. We're about, I would say,
So this
more
is
than
a smooth cigar?
very
Because
smooth.
I don't know what's.
If I were smoking an
Smooth
acid,
or
if you're
harsh,
if you're acid fans out there and not the kind he was smoking at 19. Not
Didn't
smoking.
smoke it. You
Smoking.
just-
That's why I said. That's why I said not smoking.
On paper.
if the acid cigar.
Yeah, acid brand of cigars.
Yeah.
Not to call you out.
Clarifying.
Acid brand of cigar. If I was at this point in the acid, it would have already been very harsh in my mouth, and I would have already been wanting to put it out. But I would have fought through it. But this is very smooth. Feels like 125th anniversary. I do. We're about at the last thirds. They do
Yeah, I
the
read about
cigars.
that.
Do
They're
the cigars
rated by
in thirds.
thirds.
So the first third, your second third, your third. I think we're in the last third of the
Are you
cigar.
guys like at the same point?
About
Yeah,
yeah.
mine's a little bigger.
That's what she said.
Oh jeez.
I'm gonna post that one on Instagram.
Okay.
So we're about at the last. He's just starting his last third. I'm at my last third. I would say I'm getting more of the earthy tones. I think. Like I said, I don't
Yeah.
know, but starting to taste more of the, like not cedar, maybe cedar, the woody tones to it, and that's what I.
Yeah, I can
taste
tell
at
a
least.
difference in the taste. Like it's a
From
lot
when you first
stronger
started it?
taste than. And I was told that there's like a trick to finding the exact point when you put it out before it like turns bitter on you or something like that. Because is that like really a thing?
I don't know. I'm learning stuff.
From the guy that knows nothing about
Yeah,
cigars.
seriously.
Like I said, we started
It's
this.
all YouTube.
We started this podcast with me knowing I smoke cigars, but I
Yeah.
didn't look at the flavors,
Yeah, we
look
just
at
smoked them.
proper etiquette for smoking cigars. Like I would toast it. I would light it, try to light it the right way. But they even say that, like I was saying, I don't know if I was talking to you about it, but the way you cut your cigar is all dependent on if you're an average smoker, if you're new to it, if you're a veteran smoker. If you do a punch, you get more flavors because it's a draw right to your mouth. It's not like escaping to the sides.
Yeah.
You get that tiny little circle and it all goes into your mouth, so you get more of the flavor, and that could be off-putting to like newer cigar smokers and that type of stuff. But I'm still, like I said, I've been smoking cigars for a while, but I've never actually thought too much about it. So
I keep feeling like mine's having trouble staying lit, but
I had to light mine, I think, one time.
see, I'm gonna have to learn more before you guys get super big, because, man, you know there'd be some cigar guy out there right now just like, I can't believe everything that skinny guy is doing to that cigar. Like,
Skinny
I'm just,
sticks.
rolling over like.
But with these being your first cigar, what do
Yeah.
you think of it?
I get some kind of allowance on messing up, right?
Yeah.
Still learning.
With it being your first one, what do you think of a cigar? Actually, a cigar without something rolled up
Illicit
inside
inside of it. Yeah, it's I think the hardest part for me is getting used to not inhaling, because it's just kind of a muscle memory kind of thing for me.
You're not a
Cigarettes.
retrohale? You know what that is?
No. Is that where you breathe in through your nose?
Yeah.
You let it roll out and then breathe in
Yeah.
through your nose?
They say that cigar smoke is best because you get all the flavors through your nose. I've never done it, and I don't want to.
Yeah.
I'm not. I
I've had too
don't.
many like bad experiences with smoke going through my nose that
Me too.
just burns.
Like
me.
I don't want to do it. I don't.
Yeah.
It burns your nostrils. Like
I'll take their word for it.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, I mean, this cigar is very smooth so far. I'm almost towards the end. I'll have to pull out my cigar select draw cigar cutter to smoke it till the last drop. Last
Is
drop,
that a
last
thing?
bit. This one?
No, like how far down do you smoke it? It all depends on
If
the
this
person.
was an acid, you would have already put it out. Because it would have been
Because
so
it's that
harsh.
bad.
Yeah. So if it's a smooth, good cigar, you could smoke it literally. You could put this in there and smoke it down until the ash starts to fall off the metal that you put in there.
Oh, so that's like a.
It's like not a holder, whatever you want to call it. So you
Oh, okay. That's
Like
a
it's-
clever
it's-
roach
it's-
clip type invention.
for cigars, but it's meant to
Or anything
it's meant to
that
punch
diameter.
it's meant to punch your cigars, put the holes in it so you can start smoking it. It's meant to put the holes in the side so you could get the better draw, and then once you get to the last bit, you could not burn your fingers.
Did you didn't mess anything up for yourself doing that prematurely, did you?
No,
So you got a smoker like that the rest of the time?
no,
That
because
can be your air holes.
that could be my airflow.
Ventilation.
Yep.
Your airflow control.
Yep. So what were we
Getting
talking
back
about?
to relationship with pets. If you've ever listened to
Oh yeah, that's what I was doing.
my podcast episode about being a crazy cat mom, I am the type of have a relationship
I
with
did.
my animal that
Have that if you wanted to put it down.
I throw my cat
That's
birthday parties. You ever throw your
What
cat
is
a
that, what
birthday
these are
party,
for, too?
Jeremiah?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
You ever throw your cat a birthday party? Are you that crazy?
Absolutely never. No. You couldn't
His
tell you
last-
when my cats were born.
His last birthday in April, our cat, we made him a fish cake,
Yeah. We had a fish cake and I blew out the candle for
Well, that's a
him.
little wacky. I'm not
and
gonna
he
lie.
didn't eat the cake.
No, he didn't even like it.
He liked the frosting.
His first birthday, we blew out. Well, we made a cupcake with his sister, and I blew out the candle, and we had gifts,
They
and I
actually
opened the
sang to
gifts,
him.
and there were cards. Yeah, that's how crazy.
That's,
it
we
was.
got a picture on the fridge of his
Yep.
first birthday.
Isn't that crazy? Listen,
That is a strong relationship with a cat.
I'm obsessed with animals.
I love cats, but yeah, there was I can't remember when we had a couple dogs and cats, and when the kids were little, we used to have to get them stockings and stuff for Christmas. 'Cause
He has a stocking.
the kids would be all like, "What about the dogs and the cat?"
We do that now.
Like, so here I am wrapping presents for an animal.
We don't wrap them.
We don't wrap them. We just put it
them
in
his
the stocking. But we get them like treats and like stuff like that, and like toys.
So you're still crazy.
We're so crazy. We're obsessed.
Well, there's a person that I think takes that up a notch in this one Facebook group I'm in. It's about camping and stuff. This one lady was posting how she actually brings her cat camping with her, has a little
So you can't do that.
Has a
No.
little miniature tent that connects to her tent with a little tunnel.
Don't
going
give her
into
ideas.
tent. I'm like, wow, man.
You can
This
take both
is-
handed camping.
You see what you get.
Yeah, but you can't just,
That's so crazy.
you gotta try out a cat in the woods first.
Right.
Because it's not the same thing as your house. Like, I'm fairly certain both of our cats would probably freak out from overstimulation
yeah.
or something.
Our cat would too.
I mean, when we have the window open and they hear birds outside, like,
Our cat jumps at the screen when the squirrels are on the deck. He'll literally pounce at the screen and then hit his head and like doesn't know where he is for a second.
our one newest cat that likes to knock the lamp over in our living room whenever there's a fly. We'll get in the house and fly up there. And the next thing I know, everything is coming off the end table onto the thing. So I leave that lamp off a lot now, just
Yeah.
because he's
Yeah.
a chunky little guy.
Yeah, we just stopped taking him because we used to take him back and forth to Illinois, but we had to stop doing that because
Then we realized he was a cat, so you could
well,
leave him.
yeah, you could leave him home, but he
He was a
did it
baby
when
at
he
the
was a
time.
baby.
After
but
we had
then,
tried, after you
like
tried
the
to
older
kill him.
he got, like he has like anxiety from being in the car, and he used to shed a lot, so his hair would get everywhere. But like he has separation anxiety, like him being all over your legs and stuff is because he's an attention whore. Like he just loves the attention. He's very needy, wants to be
Oh,
like
they're
all
cats.
over you.
This picture,
own you.
this picture says it all about Christmas.
Oh yeah.
His star on the top of him lights up.
Oh my god. You're gonna have to like.
And
clip
then
that
and
one
then
into
10
the video
minutes and
just
then
to
10
freeze
minutes
frame for a
later, he's like, okay, I'm in my normal sweater.
Yeah.
And you like put that on him, and he didn't have a.
He just
When
like
you put the
he just
sweater
lays
on him,
down
it's like
confident.
he just falls down. He doesn't move.
I
when you
think
put the
it's
sweater
almost like
down.
a
I don't think that would go so well with
I
our
think it's
one
like a
cat.
security.
We used
a
because that's when we
security
took him
thing.
to like my parents.
Yeah.
We put the sweater on him because we knew it would just like
he was
knock
too
him out.
he's too anxious when he's around too many people. So when you put a sweater on him, it's always like
It's just like
a
he
secure
sleeps.
blanket or something like that. So it's just like ugh.
He
okay,
falls over and
forget it.
passes out.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know
it's
if
like
you,
a sensory type thing.
yeah.
When my oldest son was younger, he went through some different like occupational therapies and stuff like that, and they would have him wear weighted vests because it's like his body was always constantly looking for some kind of sensory input, so that helped
Yeah.
like not overwhelm everything.
Like calm him down.
I just can't imagine trying to, man, if you knew our cat,
Trying to
there
get
ain't
him
no
in
way
and
in hell
in.
I'm getting that thing in a sweater.
That's how
That's the
little
cat.
he was.
He's on the side. That's my parents.
Aww.
That was when we first got him. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was that tiny. He was little.
He was like a couple weeks
Yeah, he
old
was
when
like
we
2
got
or
him.
3 weeks old. He was adorable.
Our newest one is a monster now. I don't even think he's like 8 months old yet, and he's gotta be 10 pounds. I think he's a Maine Coon, personally. There's a lot of debate in our house about that, but
And ours is 10. He keeps the weight though. He's
Yeah.
That's just my guess too. I'm really bad at that. Unless it's weighing meat. Because I was a butcher for a while.
You have a scale at home?
Nope.
That's how we weigh him. I weigh myself and then I weigh him while I'm like holding him.
Mhm.
And then I minus that out to see how much he weighs.
He's been consistent around
Yeah.
10 not since we got him, but since
He
we've
turned.
been keeping
yeah.
track.
I feel like our chunker's gotta be more than 10 pounds in, because I feel like he's almost twice the size of you, as far as girth. Like he's hasn't even grown into his
But
face
the-
yet. He still
yeah,
has that little
I would say
cute
our-
little bug-eyed kitten
I don't know
face
about
with-
your cat, but that cat at 3 o'clock in the morning, 100 miles per hour,
Oh,
up the
yeah.
stairs,
Yep,
down
yep.
the stairs. That cat does not stop moving.
My wife's gotten mad at me because I'd be cussing myself in the darkness of the night because I'll be getting up while the cats are taking bags of buns off the counter and opening them up all over the kitchen floor and ripping them apart, and
That's why we
they
don't
chase
leave
each
anything
other back
outside.
and forth. Yeah, don't
And
get
you
a
want to
second
get
one.
him a brother.
I do. I want him to
Yeah,
be
so
like
he could
that.
teach him bad habits.
I think that's how part of the original premise of how we got ours was because Sylvester needed somebody to play with.
That's
what
what
I
she
say.
always
I
says,
said,
and I'm
"My
like,
kid
he
is
doesn't.
lonely. He needs
Then
someone
it
to
just
play
ended up
with.
with this cat that, this little kitten that somebody left on my wife's friend's doorstep that's relation and just never came back to pick it up. And then she's like, Mom, I'm gonna bring the kitten home, and here we
Well,
are.
if you ever get a second one, we'll
What, a second
left
kitten?
on your friend's doorstep or your wife's friend's doorstep.
Oh, I can get you kittens all day.
You can get kids all
Yeah,
day.
all day.
Male, black.
Oh, now there's.
He wants.
It's just.
He wants a
Comes
male.
decline.
He wants
No.
a male black kitten. That's what he wants.
That seems like hard to come by as far as just seeing any kind of pure colored cat now.
Yeah.
Well, if it's got white paws, that's okay.
Yeah.
I just can't find that picture. Unless in the cat.
No.
I'll look it
I'll
up.
be looking forward to it at some point. I know I'll have that little nugget for the future.
What little nugget?
Just the anticipation of waiting to see the cat photo.
Well, that's another 24 minutes. That's 2 hours.
Well, not after. I mean, you edit some stuff, right?
I never
Like
edit
for-
anything. I just add it all together.
You just boop, 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 boop.
I
But
literally.
when you
I go right here and I do this. Like, these are all these. I'll just press this
is your
add.
video or you can still record it?
Yeah, I'll just press add and literally just add them all.
This is why it's getting harder and harder for your phone to process it because they're getting longer.
Yeah, they're getting longer. Let's.
Well, at least you have, because that's an Android phone, right? Samsung.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least you know you have access to memory cards now, and you don't have to get jacked for the cloud. Like iPhones, all the memory
I have-
is
my memory
whatever's on the
gets
phone, and then it's all about the cloud.
Oh, my memory gets uploaded to Google. I
She
have
has a
Google
cloud.
A cloud.
I
Google
showed her
Cloud.
how to do her
You have
memory
a
card.
slot for a memory card. Though,
Yes.
right? Yeah. See, that's
I
like
gave
cool.
her a memory card specifically to do that.
Yeah.
Because you can get giant memory cards now.
I was trying to add this real
512
fast before we start
gigabyte.
again, but it's processing just to see how long it is.
I'm surprised those little ones haven't got terabytes yet with how
They have a terabyte one.
tiny ones.
Yep, but it's like $300.
I was gonna say.
Because I was looking into when I got my one son Switch or whatever, I realized that you can't get a memory card with them because they're only 32 gigabytes. So I
And
was
if
looking at
actually download the games. then
I was
everything.
looking at memory cards and it was like, okay, I got a 200 gigabyte one for $27, or you could get a 512 megabyte one for like $40, or a 1 terabyte one for like $299. It's like, why not? I'll wait a year. Next year they'll be $80. So
An hour and 42 minutes.
I mean,
Yeah,
if
solid
you
state
buy
drives
the,
are coming such a
if you
long
buy
way.
the smaller ones, eventually you'll add up to it, the bigger ones and still spend less money.
yeah.
Did you pause that?
What? This?
Mhm.
No, it's
Oh.
recording. I just let that roll. I mean, that's background.
The podcast?
No, this.
saying, did you pause the podcast?
I stopped it, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's all I wanted to
We're
know.
at an hour and 42 minutes.
I mean, we could wrap it up and then finish smoking this off camera.
That's fine.
Or
Okay.
off podcast and then on camera until we
Right.
figure out our next topic.
Ready?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
But yeah.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
But yes, real fast before we wrap this up, I said the same thing as your wife. I said Bohannon is lonely and he would be less needy if he had a brother. Just want to put that out there.
Eventually we'll get another cat.
And see, you say that
But does that-
Until you get
it and
another
you
one
realize,
and
oh, wow.
he's doing exactly the same stuff as your cat now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that you
but
get
now
so
there's
mad
two of them.
about, but then now there's
But,
two of them
but,
doing
but
it.
getting, so the reason your
But they
wife
never do
wanted
it.
a cat is so the cat would have a friend, but now it's just worse because they like do mischief together.
Well, it's worse. More or less, the new cat is always the instigator. Like Sylvester's just trying to chill
I
out
told
and
you
lay on the
that.
bed, and then
I told you
Gizmo comes flying in out of left field and pounces on him on the bed, and then they're chasing each other all around the
I
house.
told her that. I'm like, Bohannon, he has no claws, first of all, so the new cat you get
We'll have claws.
will have claws, but you have to get them declawed.
Yeah.
If Bohannon doesn't have claws, you have to get that cat declawed.
Yep.
So they can't be together until you get that cat declawed.
See, and both ours still have claws, and it's like I'm amazed I haven't had to take him to the vet.
A
for-
bloodbath.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
like
there's
them
times
getting
where
inside.
you're like thinking, okay, I need to get in the middle of this, and they're just
But
playing.
that was the whole thing with my cats when we were growing up. Not growing up, but Minnie and Sebastian before he passed.
Yes.
When they were at my parents' house together, they would always claw at each other, but they never actually like brought out their claws. Like they were just playing, but you think it's worse than it is.
Yeah, especially the thing that always got me when they'd be flicking each other's faces with their back paws. Because I've gotten my forearm tore up before playing with the cat.
Oh,
They start
yeah.
hitting you with their back claws, and
Because that's all our cat has, his back claws still.
yeah, so that's all I can use.
So that's why it's not so bad when he attacks me, because if he had his front claws, it would be worse, because he wraps his front paws around my leg and like
Yep.
starts gnawing at me. But if he had his front claws, he would probably dig into me, and it would probably be worse. But he doesn't have those, so it's not as bad. I just hate
And
fighting.
to all you animal activists out there, we're sorry we declawed our cat.
Yeah.
Get over it.
We did the front and left the back, just in case he got out, he'd still be able to defend himself. Still has the back ones. That's the only reason I
But
did
he's
it.
never going to get out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's
He
probably
won't
never
run
gonna get
out.
out.
We left that door open and like run away.
Yeah, and he doesn't. He's not going anywhere.
He's too needy.
Choke.
I think ours are on the flip of that too, where the one would stay in the house, but the other one would be gone. But the one was like a local stray or whatever, because when we got him, he was already neutered. And I guess when they pick up stray cats and neuter them and stuff, they like clip the tip of their ear.
Yeah.
So he had like his tip clipped or whatever.
Just the tip.
That's all it takes.
On that note,
So I feel like
Wrap it up.
wrap it up.
I feel like we covered a lot of areas,
Relationships and tattoos.
and tattoos.
And relationships with tattoos.
Yes, and relationships with tattoos. And I think for it.
When are we tattooing our cat?
They get a
No.
tattoo if you neuter them. They have a little, well, at least have, both bars did, they have like a little green line on their belly.
You gotta look at both.
What? Really?
Mm-hmm.
What is that? So if someone looks, they can tell.
Possibly.
Or
I've
just
never
a scar.
known-
Probably the
never-
same as when they, because they would clip the tip of the cat's ears so that when they would go around doing stuff like that again, they would be able to tell which cats.
They
had been
like
taken care
clip
of
art.
already. And-
They clip art.
Well, it wasn't a stray. It's like a stray
Stray.
only, like when they,
Okay.
apparently some lady went around and like rounded up all the stray cats and took them all in to get them their shots and everything like
And
that.
then let 'em
And
back
then
out.
They let them back out.
Maybe that's another thing too, so that people know, like, oh, that cat has been neutered and stuff like that.
But
so
probably
then they know
since he's
it's like,
a
okay,
home cat, that's why they probably asked us, do you let him outdoors and all that.
maybe that's why. Yeah.
We all know the mistakes that get made in human medical practice, so you probably need to just cover your bases with veterinarian work, just to make sure there's no, oh wow, this cat isn't even a female, I guess we're gonna have to set up for a neuter, not a spay.
Oh, wow.
You mean we neutered our cat and he...
But yeah, I'd say check his belly, and in theory he should have like a
No.
little
Bo was
green or
definitely a
something,
male
little stripe.
because he
He
had.
doesn't. I mean, he's turned over so many times
Yeah,
where he
I've
rubbed his
never
stomach
no-
that
I've never
I think we would have
noticed.
noticed that.
like right on the skin, even
Oh,
throughout.
on the skin.
I don't look through his fur.
Yeah, well, no, I'd be right on his skin. You're not gonna
Yeah, I've
tattoo
never-
the cat's fur.
Why isn't your white fur green?
Yeah, no, he was definitely a boy because he had, not to get all personal,
Little
but he had his
knockers.
little gnats, and they are
Knockers,
definitely not
that's-
there anymore.
Well,
That might be
Well,
that might be
something.
the other reason he hates me because I took him and dropped him off when he had his surgery, and then I picked him up.
I
so.
picked him up too.
But I'm saying I dropped him off, and that's his memory. Like you dropped me off, and then I had surgery, and I came home and I was different.
Yep. I
But
think
he
that's
didn't.
how
It
it's
didn't
supposed
calm
to
him.
It
Like that's what
didn't.
everyone said. It would calm him.
Yeah.
I remember telling
Yep,
you that.
I
It
remember having
doesn't
that
calm
discussion at
them
work.
at all.
He's still crazy.
Yeah.
Because I was asking him about
We got him
it because
declawed.
we just got him neutered.
Yeah,
because-
Declawed
we got
and neutered,
him
it does
declawed
not
and
calm
neutered.
them.
And he's probably crazier
This
than he
will,
was.
this will calm down your cat. No, it doesn't. It makes them way more
Or like, did they
wild.
do it right?
Well, my cat is like, he's starting to get calmer now, but a lot of that I think was just him aging also.
Right.
Our cat is aging, but he's also realizing. We think he finally realized he doesn't have his front
Yeah.
claws, because now he's attacking all his toys with his back claws. Like he used to still, he
Do
still,
it with his front.
he still scratches at the
He
couch
doesn't
with
get the
his front.
satisfaction. So
He still does all the scratching with his front claws,
Yeah.
like he's doing something.
But when he plays with toys, he goes at with his back now.
yeah, it's crazy.
So I think he's just starting to like realize.
Wrap it up, people.
Well, I was just saying,
All right.
this is our longest episode.
This is our
and
longest
it's-
episode. If you stuck with us this long, you must be some real
And
troopers.
it's just exciting because this was our first time having a guest, so it's not like we had a plan on how it was going or what we were going to talk about or how long. So yeah, this is exciting.
Yeah, if anybody on YouTube stayed on this long, you better be a freaking subscriber and have that bell turned on.
Yeah.
Like that's, you can't not sit through all this and not be a subscriber.
Yeah.
Right.
So thank you guys, and thank you Jeremiah for coming over and being a part of our first guest podcast. This is very
It was a pleasure.
exciting.
I'm glad you guys had me over. It's a lot of fun because I've always, like I said, I've loved talk radio and podcasts and really like what you guys are doing and the branding and everything.
And
We'll-
when we
we'll-
get
we'll-
our
we'll do
Whenever you guys
eventually.
need help with anything, I'm always.
Eventually,
here to
we'll
help.
do Jeremiah the sequel.
and when we get our first shirts, we'll definitely remember to give you one. So you'll be one of the first few people to actually get a T-shirt when we get them made.
Yes.
It's happening soon.
Yeah, it's in the process. So, and I know you said recently you haven't been posting on Instagram, but one more time, would you like to let the audience know where they can find you and follow you if they would like to?
Yeah, if you'd like to follow my photography at all, you can just look me up on Instagram at Jeremiah_Shipley, or you can search Wisco Life and I should come up within the first couple of choices.
And we'll put a link on our posts and
Yep.
stuff for his
Yeah, you guys
pages.
can probably tag me on your Instagram
Yeah.
page or something.
I'll
but-
put
Yeah,
a link
I'll
on
tag
my
him on my
Instagram.
next Friday when this
Yep.
comes out. We'll tag him in our pictures and stuff.
Yep.
And
And I'll tag them on the YouTube channel as well on this episode, so you can find him and follow him as well. So thank you everybody for listening, and this has been another episode of In the Cigar Lounge, and this was Tattoos and Relationships. Now you gotta figure out what you want to do next.
And now this is when the camera's still
Do
rolling.
you add the outro now?
That's after we figure out what
That's
we're
after
doing
we
next
figure
week. We
out.
say
Oh.
next week we'll be discussing this and then
Okay.
grab a stogie and enjoy it. But I'm gonna have you say it. When we have
Oh,
a
yeah?
guest, the guest says it.
So do
Jeremiah's like,
That
God damn it.
sexy voice.
So the only two things I have written down that I came up with was the creating versus destroying for an episode. Or why do people do bad things? Why do people do things they know that are bad? Or if you have anything you think we should talk about.
Aliens, man.
Aliens.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's all about aliens.
Because those are the
Crop
only two
circles.
things that the other night when we were sitting that I came up with that would be interesting topics to talk about. Like creating versus destroying, or why.
Creating versus destroying.
You want to do creating versus destroying? You have your little.
Why do you roll this perfectly well-made cigar and then smoke it and destroy it?
Can I have your phone
Yeah.
for the ending, please?
It's like killing a unicorn.
Why do you have a $750 cigar and then you just burn it? What's the pleasure in it?
Do you want to practice, like, reading it so that Jeremiah knows it's cute?
Was it just
Grab a stogie.
grab a stogie and enjoy the
Yeah.
lounge?
You're gonna, like, point
It's not rocket surgery.
Ken always has a rough time when you, like, haven't, like, knocked it, like, into place yet.
Well, it's because there's times I think you're still talking and then I just stare at you.
He
and
just
it's
stares
like,
at me.
yeah?
Oh yeah, like that one time I like you thought I was about like I was finished, you thought I wasn't, and then you just like were staring at me, so we had to like re-record it. That's why I love the video because the video always gets all that.
Is this weird for you guys not using your headphones this time?
No.
This
Well,
is
then
how-
we'll just, hopefully we hear you. And
This is how
So now you can actually hear just this instead of like everything.
like,
that's
if
going
we had our
on.
headphones in, we would have heard the
All
squirrels,
the squirrels
the
driving
birds.
down the
and-
tree.
Yeah.
You would have heard everything, but you can't hear it in the podcast,
no,
which
you
is
just
weird.
hear the voice, it just picks up the voices.
Like this, like in in the video, you could probably hear it all.
I don't hear everything.
Just like the rain, but when you record through the podcast, when we had that rain episode where we were in the garage and it was
Yeah.
raining,
Yeah, well, you
couldn't
couldn't- it was
hear.
really
You
bad
heard
on
just a
the-
raindrop every like 20 seconds.
Because you said it was really bad on in the YouTube
Mhm.
video, but on here you could not hear it. It sounded like you had the sync on and you forgot to turn it off. It was just dripping. That's what it sounded like on here. So it was actually really.
So that's why you need to get a cord, and we need to get
I'm
another
going to. I'm
microphone.
getting there. Jeremiah keeps asking me about.
Technically, all you have
I
to do
asked
is
you one time.
technically all you have to do is get a cord, and then you get a splitter, and it goes to the same microphone.
You need the dongle.
But I still have to get the cord to connect it.
I know, but I'm saying you get a splitter, and it goes to the same.
That's
So we
true.
don't need to buy another
I have a
microphone.
splitter. You just get a splitter attached to that splitter.
You just need a cord. All right. Wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode. So next week we decided that we want to talk about creating versus destruction, which basically means like people creating things versus people destroying things. And I feel like this could be an interesting topic because I think I'm more on the side of creating things and he's on the side of destruction.
What does that mean?
You know what that means. So, this was another Friday night in the cigar lounge.
Is it make sure or just?
I told you. You got.
Oh my god, that was so
No, I
perfect.
couldn't remember if you say make
So-
sure you grab a
So
stogie.
grab a stogie and enjoy that. That's why it's written down.
Oh, okay.
So remember to grab a stogie.
It's okay,
so
Sharon,
if she
I remember what it does
if she talks and then it's like, so remember to grab a stogie.
Like right when I say this, well, I said.
Okay.
Are you gonna
Okay.
record your whole thing over again?
Yeah, you're gonna have to unless
Yeah,
you want to come
I want to
together.
do it perfect. That's why I do it with you. I
I
want
wanna
it
do
to
it.
be perfect.
Do you remember what you just said?
No, but I'm just gonna wing it.
This is usually
Well, you
where
could
we
just cut that part in, right? Like you could just start with this, like, cause
That's
you have
what I
the other
always-
stuff recorded.
What do you mean? No, I deleted
Like you
it.
could
I
just-
started over. That's how I
Jeez.
do. It's all one
Gotta
take.
be perfect.
Gotta be perfect. I always do this with
Now you see the pressure.
Gotta be
I'm under.
perfect, but won't get a cord for your phone for the proper sound.
Hey,
Just
we're gonna
saying.
do this again. Yeah, this is why it's funny because
Wrap it up.
Shut up, Dad. That's why people think that's why you get the. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. So next week we decided we're going to talk about creating versus destruction and how people create things and then destroy them. And I think I'm on the side of creating and you are more of destruction.
What does that mean?
Be quiet. So, this was another Friday Nights in the Cigar Lounge.
So grab a stogie and enjoy the lounge.
God damn, that was great.
That was better than
Might have to auto-tune that or
That was
something.
better than, I'm gonna just superimpose that every time.
We're just gonna like go through and cut that one part and use Jeremiah's voice every time.
Alright,
Okay.
wrapping
You
up
guys
the
just-
video.
You guys just write down stuff you want me to say and I'll sit at home with my microphone.
So guys, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Jeremiah, for joining us. So this has been...
Hopefully you stay tuned this long.
so
but
hopefully you watch the whole video.
Hardcore.
But this has been another Friday Nights in the Cigar Lounge.
So grab a stogie and enjoy.
So grab a stogie and enjoy the lounge.
There you